aside from us.
Hello guys, welcome back to Future Reach. We've missed you. Welcome back to the Stephen King annual fan club meeting.
Yeah, apparently we're doing this regularly.
Yeah,
It?
we just finished it, and now we're on
Gerald's
Gerald's
Game.
Game?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know what Gerald's Game is, it's a book, now a movie on Netflix, about a couple that goes on a getaway. Things get heated. Wife gets handcuffed to a bed. Husband has a heart attack, dies on her, and she gets trapped for days.
Cujo comes to eat people too.
Reference to Cujo. It's a dog, not Cujo. Have to be specific. They might think it's like a crossover.
All right, talking about dogs, we use that as a transition and jump right into the characters, because trust me, the dog is a character in the movie.
He's a vital character.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
a major character in the movie. Basically, in the movie, you have three characters. You have the dog, the wife, and the husband. That's it.
The Moonlight Man.
Well, he's not a character, more of a prop.
No,
You think so? Okay.
At the ending.
Yeah, but
We'll save that. We'll save
save
that.
it.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Alright.
also another character, which is the form of herself.
it's still her.
It's still her, but it's kind of not her.
Her mind.
Her conscience.
Her conscience.
mind.
Okay, her
Okay.
conscience
Alright.
plays a separate character.
All right, I will restart. There are characters. I lost count of how many. There's the dog. Well, the guy behind the camera tells me 8. There's the dog. We'll see if he's good at math. The dog, the husband, the wife. Well, several instances of the wife, and the Moonlight Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5. He was off. Anyway, so let's start with the dog, because that's one of the main characters you see in the opening scene of the movie, which made me laugh. I know it's supposed to be a horror movie, but that scene made me laugh. All right, so it's basically, you see the dog there in the car, the dog is in the road, the husband honks so that the dog gets out of the road, and while he drives by, the dog looks at them like, if you've seen the movie Get Out, how the black people look at other people in Get Out, how they fix them, is the exact same way that dog fixes the husband. Like, I'm gonna get you.
And that's about as spoilersy as we're gonna get, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What? The spoilers? This is gonna be full of it.
Oh, it's a spoilers chat.
No.
Nah, it's spoiler free.
Spoiler
Yeah,
free.
spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
All right,
free.
so I talked about my favorite character right there. That was the
dog.
The whole movie, I was just looking at the dog. So, what about you guys? Start with you.
Me? Okay.
You're the Stephen King expert in here.
I like the way Jessie was portrayed, the main character. I thought Carla Gugino was perfectly cast. I thought she did a really good job playing her. I enjoyed watching her go through the emotional roller coaster that she goes through. I enjoyed seeing, as you said, her different incarnations, her consciousness coming and talking to her, debating with her, like her husband being the evil part and her own consciousness being the good part. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed how she basically showed the different layers of the character, and she did a fantastic job of that. I really did feel like I was reading the book again, or at least I really did feel like the book being brought to life. So the main character was the one that really got it for me. Jessie was wonderfully done.
Yeah, she was very, very well written and very well portrayed too. Same?
You know what? I actually really like Gerald. The reason why I like Gerald is because of a lot of the dialogue he actually said to her. Because he is a dick. That's light on saying it, but he was a dick. But yet the things he was saying, it really just got to you to the point where you're just like, ah, just shut up. But yet he antagonized her and all sorts of things, showing that evil side. And you know what? I thought it was beautifully done. Just the way he was written was fantastic. And it very well complemented Jessie, her, and her conscience.
Oh, yeah.
Because her conscience was also very well... Like, it's hard to actually pick because they complemented each other, but they were so opposites. And that's what made it beautiful.
What about you?
I would say her mind. That was an MVP. Because everything she goes through is a great reflection of what a human goes through. True. And the way you project yourself is what she saw. And she created 3 elements. And those 3 elements are questionable, but it dives deeper.
What 3?
The 2, which is basically...
Good side by side?
Yeah.
Her and her husband. Okay.
And the 3rd was her childhood.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, that was real. What happened to her?
Yeah,
Yeah, but she was talking to herself.
Yeah, talking
Yeah.
to her younger self. That's true.
which
Yeah, she
got,
loses her mind in the movie. Big time.
oh yeah,
All the stuff that we're talking about actually is covered pretty well in the trailer. Not extensively, but they do reference all of that, and the movie elaborates upon it in a way that is reflective of the novel.
oh yeah.
All right. So, talking about like characters, they interact with each other very well, right? The dialogue is very good. So, we talked about dialogue, how the interaction between herself, her good part, which is herself, and her bad part, which is her husband, is very, very, very well written. So, how do you think that? How can I say this? How well was it incorporated into the plot line?
I thought excellently. I thought they did a really good job of that. Personally, maybe we'll start like that and just see where we go from there. Yeah. So I thought it was done really well. I thought there was a great balance between the two. And I just liked how the consciousness was like the level-headed side of Jessie. Whereas in reality, she's losing it. She's losing her mind. But that consciousness side is the still the part of her that hasn't completely lost it, and it's keeping her going. Whereas her husband, his incarnation is the one that's basically trying to make her fall into that abyss.
Oh yeah.
So they juxtapose each other perfectly, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little biased because I really like this book, but I really thought this was a good adaptation. I have a strong connection to this book.
Does the dialogue keep up with the book?
It keeps up with the vibe. They changed it a lot. It's not her and her husband. It's it's like old voices who were her old friends from when she was in high school. Andrew's reading it now, so
yeah, I'm like a little bit into it.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's some characters who are into it. Like in the book, there's a therapist, and not a spoiler. There's a scene where she's counting down. That's actually done really early on when she's counting to 10, and there's a little bit of a rhyme that the therapist told her. So that was a little bit of a change to it, because in the movie it's just two characters, the husband and her conscious or herself. In this one, there's other characters who get thrown into it. So that one's like it's a little bit of change, but it doesn't really matter because the way the dialogue with just between the two characters and herself streamlined and brought the plot or simplistic of it, brought it on very well. So it didn't even need the other characters, like the other aspects of the book into it, in my opinion.
Man, I love how they did it. It's like, you know how in cartoons you have one guy on each shoulder, like the devil and the angel? That was exactly how it was in the book. In the movie, sorry.
But seriously, but like it was like an adult version of that.
Yeah.
And it was like genuinely creepy and strange and odd. It didn't make you laugh. It did at times when I felt like it made you laugh at times when it intended to.
Actually, I think the dog was there to make you laugh.
Yeah, there were some scenes of where the dog was just there and it did something. It just kind of brought a chuckle.
Morbid
out.
laughs.
Yeah.
It's literally, I don't know how they did it, but the dog had facial expressions.
No, that dog is a good dog. He did his job. He did it right. He won the Grammys.
It's like there are some parts where the actors say or do something, and then the dog looks up, like literally in the expression of "What the fuck?" And like that's what killed me the whole movie, man.
Yeah, the dog had range.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, at some point he left like, "Oh crap, I'm out of here."
How did you find the dialogue, though, Garth? I know you haven't read the book, but like Andrew and I, I've read the whole book. Andrew's reading it now, but based on the dialogue, as like just you saw it with you and Krim saw it with like fresh eyes, right? Having never read the book, I don't even think having heard of it until Andrew and I brought it up, right?
Oh no,
you told me about
exactly.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
But the story is still pretty new to you, right? I know I talk a lot about it, but the story is still pretty new to you, right? So I was wondering, how did you guys find it in terms of the dialogue? I know I love Stephen King. I'm a huge fan.
Okay, the dialogue itself, like some of the stuff when Gerald talks as a consciousness, he has some badass lines there. And the one thing I love is like, I want a couple of these hallucinations. They calculated how to survive. No, they were like, you have this much time, you have this, you need this to survive. What do you want to do, soldier? I don't know.
It's literally, you've been here for this long. We came here at that time. We spent that much time. You've been on the bed for that long. What the heck happened?
See, as a normal person in that situation, you're in such a panic state that you wouldn't think about that. But your consciousness kept you in check, so I don't know.
Even the nasty side of it.
Yeah.
Actually, the nasty side was the one that was helpful.
Yeah, at times. Not always. He gets worse as it goes on.
Yeah. And it's just like the dialogue from both of them was really well done because they fight and correlate really well, intertwines with the story, and it does actually give possible things you do think about in that situation.
Well, also her emotions too, when she's actually laying in the bed, handcuffed to the actual bed, her actual emotional response actually makes sense. When you're in a state, you panic. And those are like, if you remove them and just put them in thoughts in her head, that's literally what a person would go through. Thought there will be a bad side, like, you deserve this, and the other side's like, well, think rationally. What can you do to survive this? And then you would have an emotional response.
I think one of the other things that makes this movie so vivid is the way they portrayed emotion through imagery. It's like, what we talk about when she was panicking, you see her on the bed. Like, there's a time lapse, first of all. And then you see her on the bed. And you're like, what? And then you can see, like, how the whole room is portrayed. Her face, the makeup, it was perfect. It was just perfect.
Oh, yeah. Throughout the movie, they had a wide angle. But you see everything as it gets closer and closer to the end. Everything gets closer and closer as the shots. They're not as wide. Until, well, there was a turning point. After that turning point, she had a lot more freedom and room. Everything came into context. So the way they shot that was really well.
That's a good point. It's very claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah.
And when it's not claustrophobic and they're outside, you have the eclipse, which looks like the gates of hell.
Yes.
Right? Like,
oh, that eclipse.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Nah, I love that little touch. That orange-red.
That was
not orange. That was red.
That was red, yeah.
That was some good color grading, though. I gotta be honest with you. It looked... Yeah, it was intense.
It was intense. And the whole meaning behind it was intense too. But that I will not spoil it for our viewers.
But when it's out in the when we're finally out in the open, away from that bedroom, it's all red and uninviting and just horrifying. And of course, there's what happens, which also contributes to that. So it's just they don't give you any sense of escape.
Oh no.
But when you go back into the bedroom, even though it's claustrophobic, it kind of has that sense of security almost, in a sense, because that outside is so demonic and out like red and hellish that when you're inside, you're claustrophobic. You kind of feel like, okay, I have a sense of security, even though she's panicking. That's what makes this beautiful in the way that they portrayed that claustrophobicness compared to the contrast of the outside.
Yeah. It's another thing I was going to portray is like the room where she's trapped, and you can hear the outside, but you don't see it.
When she's in the bedroom.
Yeah, when she's locked, when she's handcuffed.
She's stuck in there,
you can hear, like, you see her like turning around, looking outside, but she can't see from inside what's happening outside.
Yeah.
And that's also well done because you can panic. You panic with her, like, what's outside?
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know if I should spoil that scene or not. That scene I talked about. Like, there's a scene that reminded me of...
Hint at it? Yeah.
There's a scene that reminded me of sleep paralysis episode where you wake up and then you can't move. You're terrified. And there's something in the corner of the room that you can't make out. And just there. It's just standing there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what sleep paralysis is. And they kind of hint to it, maybe push it to another level in the movie. But it's like, when I saw it, I was straight up, yep.
That was to me, that was really creepy too. That was efficiently well made. That was efficiently well filmed. It looked it was made the hairs in the back of my neck and arms on my arms stand.
Oh yeah,
I did. It was a really creepy. Even when you were describing it, I was like, dude, this scene was just
like it's a piece of his life. You can tell that little piece was taken from his real life. Because that's not something you can explain if you never experienced, right?
And that sleep paralysis that you described, Krim, that was, I think, expertly taken from the book. That was one of the things, like, among many things. The film as a whole, to me, is a triumph, but it really got that scene down, just completely down, right from the pages.
Oh, yeah. The movie compared... I don't know. It's like, the movie was really good. Like, I was kind of skeptic coming into this because I'm not a big horror movie fan, as I've said before. But again, this is not a horror movie, not for me.
No,
this is psychological.
Psychological
This is
thriller.
Definitely
this
not horror.
messes up with your mind real fast. So
It's
I just remembered that we forgot one character, which is her dad.
Yes.
That made me question: does Stephen King write all dads messed up?
Oh God, yes.
No, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up. His dad left him.
Understandable now.
No, but I think his dad actually went out and just I mean, maybe that's a reflection of that. I don't know. But Stephen King, whenever you see him in interviews, he just seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like if people he's done funny interviews where he has said people always ask me what happened to you that just messed you up so much, and I don't think he's not really messed up. He's just a really interesting
he just
guy
got
who
imagination.
he just got a hell of an imagination.
That's why we've seen 2 of his movies.
Yeah.
He has a whole collection. I'll take a picture one day and post it on social
Well,
media.
the review too, when we had all the books
Yeah.
around, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm just a huge fan. I really like Stephen King.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up in here.
Yeah.
I think we all really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
it
I'll
was
personally say that I'll personally recommend that movie to people because I like psychological movies that make you think. So I'll recommend to people go watch it. It's on Netflix, so just go watch it. What do you think?
Go watch it. Just go watch it, and then once you're done watching it, read the book. Or even if you want to, read the book first, then watch it.
Yeah, watch it and definitely check out the book and take a shot every time I say I'm a fan of Stephen King in this video. See if you make it out sober.
Yeah.
What about you? You didn't give your opinion.
Forgive Dark Tower. It and Gerald's Game did a really good job.
Oh, we're going to do a review of Dark Tower too.
We have to.
I promise you, we're going to do one.
So it's
Anyway.
watch.
Yeah, anyway, so thanks for watching as always. Hit us up in the comments. Which one is your favorite Stephen King book, novel, whatever? Like, which
Adaptation?
one do you want to see made into a movie next? Maybe. And yeah, that's it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe,
share.
Definitely share. All right, take care.
See you guys.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, you can check out the next video here. If you're in a daring mood, you can select a random video here.
They'll get away. Things get heated. Wife gets handcuffed to a bed. Husband has a heart attack, dies on her, and she gets trapped for
And
days.
Cujo comes to eat people too.
Reference to Cujo. It's a dog, not Cujo. Have to be specific. They might think it's like a crossover.
All right, talking about dogs, we use that as a transition and jump right into the characters because trust me, the dog is a character in the movie.
He's a vital
The
character.
opening scene of the movie, which made me laugh. I know it's supposed to be a horror movie, but that scene made me laugh. All right, so it's basically you see the dog there in the car. The dog is in the road. The husband honks so that the dog gets out of the road. And while he drives by, the dog looks at them like if you've seen the movie Get Out, how the black people look at other people in Get Out, how they fix them, is the exact same way that dog fixes the husband. Like I lost count of how many. There's the dog. Well, the guy behind the camera tells me 8. There's the dog. We'll see if he's good at math. The dog, the husband, the wife. Well, several instances of the wife, and the Moonlight Man, right? Mm-hmm. So that's 5. He was off. Anyway, so let's start with the dog because that's one of the main characters you see at the opening. Hello guys, welcome back to Future Reach. We've missed you. Welcome back to the Stephen King annual fan club meeting.
Yeah, apparently we're doing this regularly.
Yeah,
It?
we just finished it, and
Yeah.
now we're on
Gerald's
Gerald's
Game.
Game?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know what Gerald's Game is, it's a book, now a movie on Netflix, about a couple that goes on a major character in the movie. Basically, in the movie, you have 3 characters. You have the dog, the wife, and the husband. That's it.
The Moonlight Man.
Well, he's not a character, more of a prop.
No,
You think
no.
so? Okay.
At the ending.
Yeah, but
We'll save that. We'll
Save
save
it.
that. Yeah.
Well, there's
Alright.
also another character, which is the form of herself.
it's still her.
It's still her, but it's kind of not her.
Her mind.
Her conscience.
Her conscience.
mind.
Okay, her
Okay.
conscience
Alright.
plays a separate character.
All right, I will restart. There are characters